Hello again, this is BenKyo, and I just thought I'd play one more game of the Tygem Conquest tonight. So, this is the third game, fourth technically, but the third game with a video. And I'm playing the same opening again. This time, let's go a little more aggressive. So, for anyone who doesn't know me, just once again, I'm a 6-dan player from Toronto, and you can find more information in the description for the video. So, like I've said in the previous videos, you only really see this move used out of context in the Q level games, usually. It's a bad move because black gets to extend the ideal distance, and this stone makes black a lot stronger here. And the corner is by no means even the least bit secure here, so this doesn't really accomplish what it's trying to do. This is usually only used either for attacking, which would be when you already have a reinforcement move around here. You can play this kick to make black stand up with this iron pillar and then pincer over here, because you'd have time for that when you already have a stone around here. Or you play this when you want to make black over concentrated and get some control over the corner. For example, if this stone were already here and it was a little closer, then you can play this move and make me over concentrated. Alright, so since I seem to be developing a lot over here, it would make sense to play a pincer. And so that's exactly what I'll do. Alright, so when faced with the 2-space high pincer in this scenario, not just in this scenario, oh, misclick, whoops. Alright, well, I'm just gonna finish what I was saying at least. That is terrible. I'm gonna have to make up for that. Attaching right away into the corner against this is not good because black and then white and then black, and you're making you're making black stronger, but you're not actually making much of a base over here because of this stone. I'll show in the review because I accidentally played a misclick. So unfortunately, I have to give white a really good result here now, but well, that's fine because I am still 3Q. I'm gonna play this thick move. I expect white to approach around here, which, as you can see, has happened, uh, rather than coming in here. Because if white comes in here, then I'm just gonna develop this whole thing, and white doesn't have much space in here, right? And so since I know that I'm gonna develop over here as a result of white coming in here, that means this stone being high and tight and thick is gonna end up a better distance away rather than being too close, and it's going to become more efficient. That's why I played here instead of like here or here. So white does not have enough room to extend far enough if I play this kick. So basically, I'm going to show you the real scenario to use this move, which is much better than this usage. Because see, now, even though white has 2 stones just like black, white does not have enough room to make an ideal extension length. So since when I go here, I still have weakness inside anyways, I'm going to play this thicker move because I need more stones to make this mine anyways. I might as well play the one with less agi and with more pressure on the white group. Actually, I wouldn't say it's less agi, but this one has obvious agi of white attaching in there and then cutting. So anyway, white would play here. I need to worry about that invasion. I really want to Hane here after white goes there because then I get even more territory and white's shape gets kind of messed up. It's a nice way to begin an attack on the white group by gouging out its eye space. If I wanted to be really attack it really strong, I could actually play something like this. But I'm not really in such a hurry to mount such a ferocious attack. Yeah. Uh, I just want to profit a little bit. So for starters, let's jump here. White would probably want to play something like this. Yep. So, I mean, I still want to make this territory and I still want to attack this, but the board is very open now. I don't think there's a whole lot of rush anymore to play things here, so this isn't the best idea because white can just pincer it or press it, but and yeah, anyway, pincering it, and when black runs and white can push here, and it's not a very good fight for black. Playing in the middle around here, however, may be okay. Or just approach. I'm playing in the middle this time because of this situation here. Eventually I would want to pull this stone out. So once again, white is doing this. What's happening here is that white's basically getting a whole bunch of corners that aren't actually his yet. So it's like illusionary territory. So usually when I have a stone here and this formation gets played against me, first instinct is this, or this of course, but because if they draw back, then you just connect and they have to fix, and then you expand it, and that could be good in the right situation. Whereas if they take the bait, then you can cut, and then you end up getting to Atari here and cutting this off. This is like my favorite move because I always look for a chance to use it. It's a nice little technique. If I go here, white might actually be able to think about this wedge. And Atari. Certainly I need to play something. Actually, if white wedges, I can Atari and connect, and if white cuts, I can Atari down and then block here. And white turns, and I block, and this Atari doesn't lead to anything yet. So also if I attach here and white Hane and I cut, I have to worry about this. So I'm just going to attach here. Okay, do I push again? If white turns here, I'm going to have to respond. Don't need to. I'm just going to do something over here because white is missing a move over here. And I don't really need to build strength. I'm already strong enough here, I think. Ish. I'm okay here. So I'm thinking of this. This makes white feel awkward. Yeah, you can attach there, make some territory, but I'm getting stronger again, and you have a bunch of like fake territory anyways. And I'll just connect here because I don't want to help you fix this problem when you have this problem and this problem. If I had have pushed there for the normal, like, because that's the normal shape, usually in the center, in the corner, anywhere you see it, when you see these two stones and these two stones, and then one more white stone like this, normally black would always push here and white would go there. But if I made that exchange and then I connected, white wouldn't owe any moves in here anymore. So, actually there's still some agi in here. But I don't think it's really for right now. Yeah, so what should I do? Should I go right into the corner? Or should I extend to here? The problem is if I go here, which is probably pretty good, and at least like blocking there will be slow for me, but at least it'll help me activate agi later. But anyway, if I go here, I'm worried that the corner might become solidified. I could go in the corner first. That's what I'm going to do actually. And then after this has settled, I'll go here and make white even more inefficient. So now I just get the exchanges here. Okay, and now I already profited there, so I can go here now. Okay, that's fine. I really feel like doing stuff in here after. But if I go there, then white might just defend by playing this honey and connect. I'm not sure I want to make that exchange, so I'm gonna go back to putting pressure on this group, I guess, in a way that expands my moyo over here. My mini moyo. Hopefully white buys it. I have a little bit of weird agi in here, I guess. A little bit. Okay. On the one hand, I don't want white to get the tiger mouth, but on the other hand, it would just help me make territory. And there would be an Atari, so yeah, I'm gonna go this one. It's Zente-ish, yeah, so that's great. Wow, that's great for me. Now I can just make sure that this is territory. I could even go here, I think, because if white goes in the middle, thanks to this solid formation, I can trap the whole thing with this knight move. If I go here, white might attach there, and it could be like really annoying, so. Although I am kind of tempted to just keep attacking white's base. Yeah, I think I should do that, to be honest, before white does something to me instead. Overplay. Wow, what an overplay. That's like unbelievable. Even just this, like how does he respond? You can, I guess, work with this, but probably not in this case. Even if I go here, it's pretty hard for white. But not hard enough. I'm gonna try this. And if this gets trapped, then this group could come in trouble. Alright, yeah, this is definitely a good move to try. So white will Hane thereafter, causing me to Atari, and white connect, and I connect. And then the only way for white to make that work would be this cut along with this. But now that this has gotten like pretty big, I could just let white take that. So yeah. I mean, I guess I could go here. I totally could go here. But it's not going to change the fact that this cut and the cut here and the cut here are going to work together somehow. Yeah, I'm going to do this one because it seems clearer. And these will be captured. Oh, it's a little different than what I expected, but I did think about it. This appears to be complicated, but it's probably not actually that complicated. Actually, it could have been a lot more complicated if white had tied here and then cut there. But now things have just all of a sudden gotten really simple. I'll just be solid. And I bet you white's gonna try this. Yeah, but now white misplayed it a bit, I think, because now it's starting to look like I can actually connect here. Cut, Atari down, and even if this cut happens, I just Atari, and then like bamboo or here. And this doesn't matter because I would just Atari and then connect this side. And don't care what happens here, just counter, just give this up and Atari below. Nothing is happening here for white. White's not going to be able to get two eyes in there, so I can just keep on defending. Now there's no cut, Agi. If white plays Hane, I can play this. Vital point. Now the question is, do I push up? No, I don't think so. I just need to block. I think that's enough. Even now, I don't actually have to capture this. Black is in good shape. But why not? So now once I go here, the whole thing looks dead to me. Even if white plays here, it's not actually threatening enough. And now white still needs to block here. Or get out, I guess, but blocking is probably better. Yeah, there isn't too much there isn't too much white can do here. Peep, if I connect, peep. But white would need at least one more peep available before white could move out and have me cut apart. Plus, I don't always have to respond by connecting here. If I have to, I can just block here. So this will be really big in the endgame. Early endgame or late middle game. And this is kind of big just on the grounds that white can go here and fix it in Sente. Although the shape would be pretty bad. I don't know if this is worth it for white. Probably not. Maybe white would go for this one. But I don't have a whole lot of follow-ups with this move. So it's probably better to just block here first. That's for sure. Because of all the agi here too. And even the mere endgame reasoning. Yeah, that doesn't really do anything. I guess I need to make absolutely sure my corner is in good shape. Yeah, so I'll Atari in Sente, and then make sure my corner is fine. Because my corner is not fine. Aside from possibly winning this Liberty fight, if white just Hane here and Atari here, and then connect, this would be a dead shape. In terms of life and death shapes anyways. The the capturing race is another story. I feel like just ignoring it and threatening to capture those. Because then I can go back and play this, something like this, or this, or anyway, something that makes me feel more alive. If I just respond now, I feel like my shape's a little sketchy for life and death, so I really want to come out, but I kind of can't, so yeah, I'll just go for this, and we shall see if white knows what I'm trying to do. Nothing complicated, really. I'm basically just increasing my eye space in Sente because I have a net here. Okay, so I could possibly need this, but probably not. Should I just try to make my space huge? No, that's not a good idea. I need to deal with this stone. Yeah, but I am alive. I can just play here. And if white plays Hane, then I can go there. And if white goes there, I can just go here. Indeed. Now that I have that stone from the forcing move, white is not able to play there and create some kind of capturing race. Here it's pretty simple. I could just make an eye here, or I'll take a liberty away from white. I think this one is better though, because white's gonna cut, and when white cuts, it means eventually I need to win the capturing race. So all the white stones in here are captured now. And these ones are in danger. And eventually I can try to make use of the algae in here, maybe live in here, which could potentially kill this whole white. And then white basically has three main territories, here, here, here. This one's pretty solid. And same with this one, ish, but it's pretty small. They always leave before I can say thanks. Alright, so a quick review. So once again, this is not a good move, especially when black has space for an ideal extension. It's only good when it really overconcentrates black, and when you're attacking black by already having something over here, allowing you to pincer right now in an appropriate context. But this is better for black. So, my misclick. But here's what I wanted to show. When white attaches here right away, black simply draws back and makes the tiger's mouth. Now, white doesn't have any good move. If white plays here, then black can play something like this or similar things, basically to limit white's eye space here. The only way white can make two eyes locally is through making black thicker, which would mean that this one would become a good shape as opposed to a bad one. And basically it stops white from playing something like this or this to make more eyes. And if white ever moves out, then black is going to get reinforced by virtue of needing to respond to white, which is like would look like all according to plan for black. So for example, after making black strong like this, if white jumps now, then black can play here, which is pretty ideal because white doesn't actually have a way to exploit this gap. And it helps to put pressure on these white stones. If black's afraid of agile, like if white comes here, looking at the agile, I mean, you could just play this and it's still good for black. If white tries to play this, first of all, it's okay for black because you can still go here. But this is, and white still has really bad agile in there. But this is still better than white deserves in this situation because you can cut directly. Or can you? Let's see. Just gonna turn off the invites. So white would either extend or connect or play here. But that gives you time to play here or whatever you need to play. And this cut would work, right? So white needs to keep responding. And black can double hane. So this is basically a bad idea for white. Even if white has the ladder, black can just play like this. And it's good for black. presumably white would take this, but then black can go here. So I've seen this move a lot, but it's not good. So basically, white doesn't have any easy way to get a good result right now because white was too hasty in attaching in the corner, and it made black too strong. So this is really bad. I talked about this before. You don't want to go so close to the stone you're approaching because then they just play here. They get amazingly stronger and you're behind them. So they're always going to be one step ahead of you. And this is just way too good for black. Black's getting monstrously strong over here and is strong here. And white's getting almost nothing here, even in terms of eye space. Yeah, so basically what you need to do here is one of like 2 or 3 things, which is basically you can jump and perhaps jump again. And then make an exchange in the corner and pincer black. So basically this jumping strategy aims to pincer black and make its territory indirectly. It gives territory to black, as you can see, and the goal is to build up enough strength along here so that you can pincer black. So the ultimate goal of white is to make territory indirectly by fighting and eventually getting something out of it by having an advantage in the fight. The reason this exchange is made in the corner is because it's not just because white might want to come back and connect here later. We can see that white's not really going to get a base here because you don't want to play something like this and let black go there. That's going to make this weak black stone so much stronger, and then you'll still have to play another stone anyways to reinforce your liberty shortage and your territory. You wouldn't do that, like, ever. So that's not why. White's not trying to make territory here. So the question is, why would white put a stone there but then forget about it? Well, first of all, there's many reasons. Yeah, so first of all, if white doesn't do it, then black at some point could do this and just gain corner territory in Sente. And white wouldn't like that. And the difference is if white actually exchanges in the corner first, then now even if black plays this, this move is actually Sente because if black doesn't respond, you see this stone inside is already cancelled out by this -1 in black's own territory down here, right? But white can actually pull down later on now and cut and then break in. And so because of that agi, it means this exchange ended up a profit for white. Another reason is that later on, after a lot of fighting has happened and settled, and this has been determined as a no man's land for territory, white might actually want to play this move. Basically, to let himself get potentially cut off and make independent life, and basically preventing black from getting corner territory. Because if white draws back, then black can extend in the corner. So this one would stress the corner. And it would happen in one of a few ways. If black goes like this, then white feels great because white was able to draw back and get this move. If black Atari's here and then connects, then white can do some things and then do this, or just do this directly and live in the corner. Again, it wouldn't happen in this situation because white's damaging himself too much and helping this black stone, but it would happen later when fighting has been settled. And of course, when this is actually big, which right now it would not be. Of course, if black tries to do this, then it's not the greatest idea for black, especially since even though black can do this to still connect, white can also pull out some more tricks like this, or keep fighting the ko. Odds are in most games this is going to be too destructive, uh, like too bad for white, even though white's cutting this off. Most likely, what would happen is that when black takes right now, white would play a ko threat, and then this would happen. Black would have to do this, then white would do this. And again, black could connect like this, but it's, as you can see, black's getting very flat, and it's a really sad situation for black now. And yet again, white could do this, and eventually play this. So that's not a good idea for black. So that is the meaning of this 5 here. Okay, a much simpler joseki to play here would be this one. There are a whole bunch of really complicated variations, but the basic one that everyone should know is black attaches here, trying to cut these two apart naturally, and then when white hanes, black extends. As I pointed out earlier, in this shape, 2 stones and a stone here with the knight moves away and these 2 stones, you should play this one usually. Normally black would play this shape, but since there's a push and cut there, normally black plays this shape instead. There's no worry about white playing these moves because it's going to activate the cut over there if white keeps losing his own liberties. I guess it would happen a little earlier actually. Probably right now. So even though black can capture this and can get some corner territory, white, black is getting a lot of thickness on the outside. So it's not really a problem for black. So normally white goes here. And then white wants to play here or here, but the problem is this cut still works for black because if white tries to capture it, black can Atari and then capture white. So white pushes once more in Sente, and then in terms of the simple variation goes here, because now with the extra liberty gained from white 9, this doesn't work for black. So this is basically a set sequence that you should memorize. You could choose to play this one closer. And there are other variations in response to this pincer, such as attaching here. Anyway, back to the game. My misclick. So once again, not really a good move by white. And it makes it harder to invade here. I mean, yeah, white can invade here thanks to this one, but it'd be even easier without this extra stone. And this thickness makes a really big difference in the game. Allowing stuff like this, for example, which is pretty good for black. So yeah, probably black should keep going here. And in the end game, it's possible black may get to play this one too. I chose not to because normally when I play here, I would expect white to Tanuki or to respond locally over here to block me. But since white responded in the corner, uh, these moves canceled out anyways. And the reason I wanted to save that push is because if I push, then white might do some some complicated thing, like let's say this, and no, actually that's the wrong order. Uh, the first one would be this peep, and especially since these white are still weak, and the center could matter. So if I want to keep this stone, I have to connect. But then white could force here, and then force here, and then move out somehow. And this would be really bad for black if it works, because now there's two black weak groups, and all the territory is gone. So basically, the reason is because there was a peep here, right? But if that is going to happen, then I would much rather it that if white does all that stuff, like whatever happens here, at least I know that later on here, I would, instead of going here, I'd be able to go here now. Since I didn't exchange it earlier, I can play a better move now. And I can even get an eye in the corner. So that's the reason for that, but I still think maybe I should have pushed anyways. So this worked out perfectly for me, and the game basically ended here. So last thing to look at, I guess, is what if white plays this, and then this cut? Well, I can Atari here first to make sure these are safe, and then I can connect here to make sure this stone and this cut are safe. Now, if black tries this, then I can just connect here and let let white have this. It's really no big deal for me at all, and these are all captured, so the game is pretty much over. This might look confusing, but actually the only stones that matter are these two, right? So, no problem. Countless variations you could choose to get out of here, especially if you're worried about this pulling out. For example, just Atarying and Atarying and then Atarying. So now we know that this one doesn't affect this. And then just getting away. So that is that. I hope this was useful, this little review, and I will see you guys next time.